Hi, it's 5 a.m. while I am doing this, so don't judge me for using Google Translate. Anyhow, start off by making a little light outline for your photo. I used BlendBG and the square mask for this. Create that, then make your cube. I can't really direct you through the cube movements as it is different for everyone, so I will tell you a story in the meantime. Smiley face. At age 4 or 5, me and my family stayed at the Nickelodeon Hotel in Orlando. One afternoon, we went to the food court for lunch. My mom decided to get the food for us. Me, my brother, and my sister stayed at the table while she got our sustenance. My sister was 8 years older than me, so we had someone watching over us. I noticed with my child eyes that Dora the Explorer was venturing near our table, so I prepared 4 pictures with her. But alas, my mother still had the camera. So in a moment of desperation, I ran to my mother screaming "Mommy!" over and over again. This led my siblings to believe I was scared of Dora. But I am not. I am frightened by no one. Kenneth, if you are hearing this, I am not scared of Dora and I never was scared of her. I am still doing cube movements. What the fuck? I will put my graph presets here, but you gotta catch them if you want them. I never said it would be easy. Ho. Notice how I adjust my graph so my cube will sort of charge up before moving. Like those pull-back Hot Wheels. This makes things smoother and is also used in animation for more fluid motion. Yeah, I am back to the tutorial. Mind your business. I personally like a lot of movement in my edits, so charging up gives objects more of an After Effects-like smoothness. I like steep graphs that can be stretched over a long distance and still remain smooth. The less separate graphs you can use in one clip, the better. Having stretched out graphs keeps everything smooth and connected without delay between multiple graphs. This is a 7-minute long tutorial. Be prepared for more bullshit. Now that the cube movements are done, it is time for the reflection aspect. This reflection is highly inspired by After Effects, specifically after I was able to see how reflection works in the program with my graphing type. We will be using environment maps for our reflections. Environment maps are used to make reflections in the professional video editing industry. I will put some environment maps at the end of the video. In this, I am simply flipping the second and third copies as to fully fill the screen and reflect the bottom and top of the middle one. Let me speed this part along. While we speed along, I would like to say something. Andrea, I am sorry for saying Percy Jackson is better than Harry Potter, but it still remains true. Not the movies, we don't talk about the Percy Jackson movies. The books are better though, and I am sorry that my opinion was so controversial that you immediately kicked me from the beachy chat. Anyway, with reflection, the key is opacity and having opposite movements. Using BlendBG does not accurately work for reflect in my opinion. And with After Effects, I used opacity for the reflection. For opacity, I used 20 to 30%. With opposite movements, you want to make sure if your cube is moving or spinning toward the left, your reflection moves to the right. Or if your cube goes up, your reflect goes down. Your reflect cannot move the same way as your object. It will appear as a part of the object rather than a reflection bouncing off of it. If it is easier to use the same directions when moving your reflect at first, then flipping your object as to create the opposition, I suggest doing so. In this, I only flip for the horizontal movements instead of the vertical, but you can flip for both. Work smarter, not harder. I also use a separate master for vertical rather than combining vertical and horizontal movements in one layer. This is important if your verticals and horizontals do not line up. Ignore me switching the reflect map I use. I am indecisive. Sparkle. Using a master as a separate place for more movements is actually really helpful. Especially when you want to use one thing in multiple ways with different time marks. Try your best to reflect every movement your object makes. I am actually unsure if a rotation would get a reflect ha. Anyway, that includes the charge up from before. So try your best to keep graphs, time marks, and amount of movement as similar as possible. With amount of movement, don't try and have a huge amount of reflect movement with barely any from the object. That's stupid. If you're here and this seems incredibly hard, I'm either over-explaining or you may be a beginner with VideoStar. My tips on the graphs could be helpful to you as a beginner, but please do not attempt 3D reflection if you do not understand much about VideoStar. If a VideoStar tips video would be something you'd like in the near future, let me know in the comments below. As you can see, I just did my horizontal flip in order to avoid the annoyance of having to keep everything opposite the entire time. You can do a flip for both horizontal and vertical, whatever is easiest for you. Now, an easy way to mask out the excess reflect on the sides is to take the green screen of the cube beforehand. Mask out the green and look for solid color. This will make the cube entirely whatever color you'd like. I chose red for masking capabilities. I am flipping the mask so it fits my cube and how it got flipped. You can flip back your cube anytime or leave it the way it was if you like it better. Finally, put your reflected cube on the first layer with your green screen on the second. Mask out the cube color. I know, a lot of flipping. Once again, I am indecisive and cannot decide which I like better. We are done. Hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. You are all my children now. I'm sorry that I keep forgetting to watch me edits. I will try to remember her more. Leave any requests in the comments. Love y'all. You can follow me on Instagram at wittyho, spelled WITTYHXE. Also, follow Beachy Tutorials on Instagram and YouTube. This is posted on both, by the way. Have a good day, night, or whatever. Just have a good life before I strike.